Please start the stream. Hi everyone, welcome to AllCoreDevs testing call number 54. Let's get right into it. Last week, in the end of the week, we shut up Physical.NET 5. We had a successful DevNet. We were able to come up with the BPO numbers that we would like to use in the future testnets. And the following PRs were also raised. Let me just put them in the chat here. So we have Hotkey scheduled for next week, then the first BPO a week after that, second BPO a week after that, and then a week after that, a day after that, we have Sequoia after the second BPO. I saw that some client teams already started making PRs into their client code. So I guess the config values that I've come up with are correct. Anyone has any comments regarding any of the config values? There's also the fork IDs that have been proposed by Bezu, and Nethermind seem to have agreed on those. So that's also good. Yep, regarding DevNet 3. DevNet 3 is currently at 97% participation. We have a couple of peers that are struggling, Deku, Aragon, Deku Nethermind, and Lighthouse Nimbus.cl. Deku Aragon, there seems to be possibly an EL bug. With Nethermind, there was also seemed to be an EL bug. Maybe someone from the Nethermind team can give us an update.
Yep, hello. So we have some gas mismatch for some reason. We are still trying to figure out it. We ran some even older blocks and found another TX with the same problem. So, well, I hope it will be resolved in a day or two.
Is there a reason that other Nethermind nodes are not stuck with the same block?
No idea about that.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting. Anyone from the Aragon team can also chime
in? Yeah, hi, do you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, hey, so yeah, it seems like this node, I had a look, it seems like this node going some weird state and it's taking very long time to do database commits. So I haven't narrowed down why yet, but It could be due to like some disk issues on the server, or maybe just the node itself has been struggling and it's finding it hard to come out of this bad state. But yeah, it seems like it's just behind like 20 seconds or something. I've not seen this before, and I've not seen this on any of the other nodes on Fusaka DevNet 3 yet. So yeah, I'm just gonna spend another hour or two trying to see what's happening. But it's not something that I'm necessarily worried about in terms of Fusaka releases. It's not looking like a bug related to Fusaka.
We could take a look at the physical properties of that one machine and find out if there's something wrong with the disk on that node.
Yeah. I'll talk to you offline after this. Yeah, with further info.
Yeah, sounds good. Anyone else has anything regarding Fusaka or DevNet 3?
Yeah, we're if we don't resolve this issue with the blocks, then we're considering it's an issue in instability in master, so we're considering releasing the Fusaka change on top of our previous release. If we don't resolve, it shouldn't cause any delay.
Yeah, ideally we should have the client releases then out by Thursday, and hopefully a code freeze by end of today. Oh, obviously, if you still have a known bug, then that code freeze is probably not going to work out for Nethermind, for example, but for the other client things. Regarding shadow forks, we still have a pending PR that hasn't been merged. This is updating the Osaka style blob schedule for the chain spec for Nethermind. And we would like to merge this in order to be able to do a shadow fork for mainnet as well. Could some EL client teams please give some more thumbs up, because this report requires more approvals. Okay, so maybe after Thursday we can take a look at doing a shadow fork for Hosky. Ideally, we would want to do that on Friday. It's probably going to be a rather small network, nothing crazy, because of the big machines that we would need for the database sizes. We just want to validate that we're not going to have a similar situation what we had with Spectra. And then we should be good to go for next week's ACDT to discuss the results of the shadow fork. So if there's no more Fusaka related topics, then we could probably go into the gas limit testing updates. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up, I'm writing a test for Xen. So Xen is like a very, like the biggest, I think one of the biggest state contracts on mainnet. And I want to test there like the gas limit updates, which we might want to do soon. So I want to test against 45 million gas, but also against 60 million gas and 100 million gas. And for this, I'm using Nevermind's gas benchmark tool. But I'm running into issues actually running these tests against other clients. And I'm running the tooling in this PR. And yeah, I have some questions. I also asked them on Discord, but I hope that someone from Nevermind can help me out. One of the things is there is this Nevermind GP hacked image, which is being used as an hacked engine API image. but I would need to change that even further because I need to change also the timestamps there, and I cannot find the source code of this. So I would really like to know if this code is actually closed source. That could, of course, also be, or that I just did not find it. So maybe someone from Nethermind knows where this is. So it's this image. Let me copy that.
Is anyone from the Nethermind team able to comment on this GP hacked source? Not, then maybe this could be taken offline and discussed in the
Yes. Okay.
chat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then I will also ask because I had some other questions also about this gas benchmark tool. But I think yeah, I will just keep prodding people for this. Yeah. I think Martin from the Nethermind team is working on this. I don't know if he's here, but I would really like some help because I would really like to generate a report before this Thursday. But yeah, I think this tool is perfect for it, but I cannot run the test on top of that. And otherwise I have to write, I think, exactly the same as this tool does myself, but that would of course be a little bit of overkill. So it would be great if someone could help that. Yeah, thanks.
Is Martin
Yes,
around?
hi. Yes, I'm here. I'm checking it right now.
Ah, cool. Yeah, you can contact me on Discord, on Telegram, but that would be really helpful. Yeah, thanks. I've also commented
sure.
on the issues. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is there any other update regarding the gas limit testing? Yes? Anything?
Yeah, so related to EIP 17935, so Sophia was asking on BISO side if we are okay for 60 million. So unfortunately, we haven't reached consensus inside the team, so we are still discussing. So some folks are in favor, other against. Yeah, so we are still trying to find the way to go, at least from our side. But related to the work on the arithmetic operations, we have a few PRs that are passing all the reference tests. Yeah, so we are basically testing, but it's in a very good stage at this moment.
Would you consider bumping the default gas limit on, for example, Holsky to 60 million? Or all the different testnets? Because I think the only open question right now is gas and Bazoo.
So what do you mean? Because Holsky and they are already at 60 million.
Oh, they're okay. Sorry.
So Sepolia and Holsky are already at 60 million. So there should no issue because they are already there. I mean, we are like testing heavily like the 60 million gas. So we like the remaining issue on BISO side are some arithmetic operations. So my proposal was to basically go with the current state with Sepolia and Holsky and have another release like with the performance improvement, like the increment that is only performance improvements on HODI and mainnet. But we haven't reached any consensus yet. Because I mean it's too risky. I can understand like the like the other opinion to say like it's too risky to have like a new algorithm like few weeks before mainnet. But yeah, I will update anyway on what we decide.
Okay, thank you. Is anyone from gas in this call that could comment on Perry's recent comment about the library change?
Yeah, I can comment on that. We changed our library for Modex, well, no, we pulled in some improvements for Modex into a fork that we're using now for the short term, and for the medium term, we are working with the Go standard library to upstream our changes. And we also switched to GNARC for the BN256 stuff. Sorry, BN254 for the smart people in the back. Yeah, it's with this we are good for 60 million.
Great. So right now the only open question is Bezu at 60 million, right? Or do we have any other EA client? Is it still questionable?
No, it's just Besu. There are things that we are looking into in order to get to be really sure about 60, and especially to be sure about like everything beyond 60. So the thing that Joachim is doing with Zen and the worst case blocks for state access is one of the things that will de-risk this, hopefully. And so I hope we will have some early analysis soon on that. And then the next bigger issue, the bigger issues are after 60, and the big one is at roughly 70 is the receipt size, and for that we would need the ETH70 protocol. But the problem is that it's quite hard because basically you split up the receipts on the sending side when you connect to a node, or when you request the receipts are split up on the sending side, and they must be reconstructed on the receiving side, and that is a bigger change. So no client yet has implemented ETH70, and then there are other things preventing us from going further, but all of this is being worked on, and yeah. So for now, Besu seems to be the one holding the thing holding us back from moving to 60 and beyond. But yeah, the next step then would already be the P70. So yeah, I think there's value in going to 60 soon, but we will need some time afterwards to figure out some stuff before we go beyond 60.
Could Bezu increase to something lower, something like 55 or 50 million comfortably? Or 60 is like the absolute minimum that everyone's targeting? Because currently we are at 45 million, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, so from the current numbers, like just maybe a bit of history. So before East tests, there was no issue at 60 million. That's why currently we have like Sepolia and Holiski running at 6 million, because we thought that there is like no worst case that like has this that has less than like 15 mgas per second, like 20 mgas per second, which is the bar to have like 60 million. But with East tests, like the new tests from the testing team, so we have like these new use cases where Besu is has like throughput around 15 mgas per second, which is basically the bar for the 45. So either we go to 60 because we have an improvement, like we ship it, then I'm pretty sure that it will be above 60 million. But like if we go with the only version, 45 is the one to go.
Okay.
And so the worst case scenario here is if we went to 60 with Fusaka and there's an issue in Besu's new implementation, and there were these worst case blocks, then Besu, do we know exactly how long it would take Besu to process a block?
Yeah, so so I mean it's very simple math. So if we have like 60 million block with like full off mode, for example, where like we have 15 amgas per second, so that block would be processed in around 3.5 seconds. It's roughly, so basically above 3 seconds. And like the term issue would be basically missing attestations, so not attesting the right head. In terms of block building, maybe build smaller blocks. But I mean that would be very specific for Besu nodes, maybe fall behind the head for some blocks. Yeah, but in general, in general, the risk is not that high. But the other risk is actually having a consensus bug. I mean, if we ship it, so if like we go with the new implementation, so we can have a bug in that implementation. So we need to roll back to the old one and and basically have like the current performance issue.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm curious how others feel, but I think being I don't I think we're kind of trading off like 25% increase here. So
Are we talking about not just one, basically one slot, or like as long as the potential attack lasts, right? So if you have maybe 10 or 15 consecutive blocks, then for that half an epoch, Besu would lag behind 1 or 2 slots always.
yeah. Well, also if Besu is a proposer, right?
No, I don't know. So if Besu is a proposer, the only issue is basically produce a smaller block because the selection, the way that we select transaction is like time limited. So we select like transactions to go in the next block up to like some percentage of the time that we allow for block building, like local block building. So that's not an issue. But if we like if Besu, like for other full nodes, like that need to process the block, especially for validators, the only issue I see is basically missing like the attestations, but that's not like the whole Besu nodes because you have like some percentage of the full nodes on some specific slots. So like the attack, I think to be to have like all the Besu nodes impacted, we need to have like multiple blocks full of like mode operations, for example, to be not only one block basically.
Do we want to be a blocker going to 60 million?
Oh, I guess one more question. Yeah, we can maybe decide this on Thursday, but it's good for people to think about. But one more question is just the impact on the on the hardware. Like if people are running Besu on better hardware than the standard one, are they also affected by this, or does better hardware help?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say hard to. I think it will help for sure because like when we profile a big integer implementation, most of the time is on CPU, but it would help only if the clock, like the clock speed is basically better because we are not doing any parallel execution with that algorithm. So the number of cores will not help, but if it has a better clock, it will help, yes, for sure.
Got it. Yeah, so I think we don't necessarily have to make a call about this today, but I think ideally this Thursday we would because yeah, we have this EIP specifying what the default is, and obviously if we are moving mainnet to 60 million, it'd be good to start signaling that. But yeah, I think it's reasonable for people to take a couple more days to think about how to move forward.
Yeah, ideally we want to make a decision about this, I think, by the end of this week.
Yeah, I agree. I will update anyway. So we have been like discussing like almost a week yet. So we need to make a decision.
Okay. Is there any other topics to discuss regarding gas limit testing? If not, then we can move on to glance rhythm testing updates. Anyone from ePBS would like to discuss ePBS progress? Otherwise, we could move on to local access list testing. Anyone from Ball teams are here?
I can give a quick update.
Yeah, sure.
So on Wednesday, there is the third block live access list breakout call, and we're going to discuss if we should move from a block live access list hash that is currently in the execution header to a try. And this will be discussed on the next breakout call. It would be a rather small change, and current default is no. But if you have an opinion on that, then please do show up to the breakout call on Wednesday, 2 p.m. UTC. And regarding testing, let's see if someone else, like Felipe or Rahul, is on the call, who are better at that.
Yeah, I can give a quick update. We've been sort of refactoring some of the absence checks on the testing side. And there's a PR that should be up and ready. And Rahul has been adding some test cases there. And we need a couple updates on the spec side as well. But these should be coming in as well this week.
All right, and just to add to that, last week we were discussing about the CL implementation. Yeah, thanks to Nico, Terence, and Jihoon, we now have Lodestar and Prism implementations, and now we are about to start testing everything locally.
Yeah, that sounds good. And maybe we can aim for a first DevNet launch in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sounds realistic, I think.
I guess nobody from ePBS is here to give us an update. Regarding specs, maybe Justin can give us an update. How is the spec coming along?
I would say the spec is coming along pretty well. Last week we merged a bunch of tests and a few minor spec changes, like not related to testing. and we are currently working on a release. So I believe ePBS DevNet 0 will be based off of consensus specs v beta.0.
Right, so beta.0 will be also the one that's targeting for the testnet.
Yep, correct. And you can expect that 24 hours from right now. I just restarted the action.
Sounds good. Terence also said that he's about to join in to give us an update. Looks like he's here now.
Hello.
Hi, Terence. Could you give us an update on ePBS testing and how are things looking?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks for calling me. So we are at the point that like all the containers on the ePBS side is finalized for the current DevNet 0 spec. So since last Friday, the priority was to cut the spec release for ePBS or for Glois for EIP 7732, and then have consensus spec test. So once we have consensus spec test, we can start like do more implementation because like now we can actually ensure correctness. And so we're at the point that we're waiting for a spec release. I know Justin's working on it. So I think in the ePBS channel, the latest progress was there was some problem generating spec tests, and Justin is working on that. So once we have that, yeah, we can start putting a lot more efforts into implementation because we know the spec test is there. And there's the ePBS breakout room this Friday, and Justin will be hosting that. And that's typically very organized, and Justin is doing a very good job on that. So I encourage all the clients that is implementing that will implement Gloss on for the consensus layer, join that call. But otherwise, yeah, it's going mostly on this. Mostly the last few weeks, we have been just mostly focusing on the spec, getting the spec into like a DevNet 0 readiness stage, and now we'll do more implementation. Questions, feedback, welcome.
Yep, and Terrence, the issue has been fixed, and I have restarted the release action, so we can expect, hopefully, it is complete in 24 hours.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for the update. Anyone else has anything else to add to Amsterdam?
We did make a small PR merge end of last week regarding like helper functions for the like slot timing functions or whatever. I can find a link here in a second. It's pretty minor, but it was a suggestion from Donkrad and Paul Harris. I'll share a link. It's minor.
All right. Well, that is basically all the topics that we wanted to discuss today. Maybe someone else has anything else to add? Otherwise, we can call it early today. All right, then. See you all on Thursday. Thanks for coming.
Bye, everyone.